Hey everyone, welcome back to another Beast of the Mesozoic Ceratopsian series review. Today we're going to take a look at the new Fan's Choice Torosaurus. And as always, a big thank you to David for his continued support of this channel for sending this figure out early for this review. Now, if you'd like to pick this figure up for yourself, it's still available for the special pre-order price on Creative Beast's site for $139.99. Once it comes into stock, it's going to go up $5 to $144.99. So if you want to save a few bucks, I'll leave a link down below to Creative Beast Studios site. And good news for those of you that already pre-ordered this figure, a small quantity of these should be shipping soon from the warehouse. I think David said in the last Kickstarter that you should receive these just before Christmas. And now on to the packaging. It comes in the Fan's Choice packaging. You can see it right here. Let me just move this over just a little bit so my light's not shining on it. Got the Fan's Choice logo just above the Beast of the Mesozoic logo. Got this beautiful new artwork of the Torosaurus with the baby. It's a nice homage to Walking with Dinosaurs. Yes, this color scheme is a homage to the Walking with Dinosaurs Torosaurus. And then turn it to the side, we do get the Creative Beast logo with the Triceratops. And then on the back of the box, you get that same artwork with some facts about Torosaurus. And on the back right here, is this all still taped? Yep, let's just get this tape off so I can remove the sleeve and get a nice picture of the other Fan's Choice figures. The Medusa Ceratops has already been released. The Pachyrhinosaurus is shipping with the Torosaurus, and the Styracosaurus, the old buck version. I think that's shipping with wave 1.5 with the Tyrannosaurus series a little bit later next year. And I do love the artwork on old buck, very reminiscent of David Arnsby's art style. He's the one that did the old buck, the Dinosaur series. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. It's amazing animation. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this big Torosaurus open and take a closer look. And here is the Torosaurus out of the packaging, and this thing looks absolutely fantastic with this new paint deco. Torosaurus is my favorite Ceratopsian of all time, so naturally the big blue one is my favorite figure from the Ceratopsian series. But I was really happy to see this one get the Fan's Choice treatment. Some people weren't happy with the bright blue color scheme of the original, and this one sports a much more natural looking paint deco. This is based on the Walking with Dinosaurs Torosaurus. David did take some artistic liberties and spruce it up, made it a little bit more colorful because the way it appeared in Walk with Dinosaurs, it was kind of bland looking, but we do have those false eyes on the frill, which really looks cool. Just love the natural paint job on here. Very well done. There's some nice dark olive green for the back, and they have mixtures of brown, orange, and cream for the sides and the legs. Just love all the paint details on the frill. I think this looks absolutely incredible. And I was looking at this, and if you squint right, the color scheme kind of reminds me of the old Tycho Dino Riders Torosaurus toy. I know David's a big fan of Dino Riders. We already have the Dino Riders inspired Monoclonius figure, and we have the upcoming Kickstarter exclusive Dino Riders T-Rex. So yeah, maybe this is an unintentional homage of that old Tycho toy. But yeah, this thing looks great, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And now for some measurements. This figure from the tip of the beak to the tip of the tail is 18 inches long, or 45.7 centimeters, and just over 7 inches tall to the top of the frill, or 17.8 centimeters. So Torosaurus in real life is estimated between 26 to 30 feet long, or 8 to 9 meters. So I put this figure somewhere in the 117 to the 119 scale range. And just like every figure in the Ceratopsian series, you do get a nice collector card with that artwork that's on the sleeve of the box. Very well done. We got two baby Torosaurus figures. I know we're getting baby Diabloceratops figures. I hope this is a tease to get some Torosaurus babies. I will definitely be picking those up. I think David said that we were going to get Torosaurus babies in the near future. I could be wrong. Then on the back of the card, you get a picture of the figure itself and some facts about Torosaurus. And I apologize for sounding like crap during this review. I had COVID about 3 weeks ago, and I just can't shake the stuffiness. I am all clogged up, and that's why the reviews have been very slow on this channel. It takes me a million takes to get through these things because I keep coughing and sniffling my nose and whatnot, so just bear with me. And let's zoom and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with this beautiful head sculpt. I just always loved the look of Torosaurus with that long frill. It had one of the largest skulls of any known land animal. I think they were just over 8 feet long. I don't live too far from the Peabody Museum of Natural History, and they have a Torosaurus skull on display there. It's always one of my favorite things to check out. Can't wait for that museum to reopen in 2024. I can't wait to see how the renovations come along in those exhibits. But anyways, getting back to the head, this Walkman Dinosaurs paint scheme looks absolutely fantastic on here. You can see on the frill, those false eyes came out really, really nice. They've done a little bit of gold paint, highlighted by black. You have some nice peach coloration on the finestras of the frill, and some nice dark red and rusty colors for the edges of the frill. You have all this nice dark olive green marking all along the frill, and then going down to the face, the eye is done in a nice glossy yellow with a black pupil. Some more of those red cream colors and oranges mixing in with that olive green. The nose horn is nicely sculpted. You do have some nice scale detail on the front. The frill is done with that keratin sheath look. That's because when these figures were sculpted, it was not known if ceratopsians had scales on their frill. Right after these figures were sculpted, there was a triceratops specimen that was discovered to have scales on the frill, but it's really not that big of a deal to me. The brow horns are all nicely done. You have a little bit of black on the tips, and they're done in a nice bone coloration. And then opening up the mouth, you can see there's some nice glossy pink in there. There is a posable tongue that's really far back, and the shadow from my lights you really can't see in there. And there are some nice teeth sculpted in. Got the same critique with this figure like I do with some of the other Ceratopsian figures. I just wish the jaw would close completely flush. It's really not too bad on this Torosaurus, but it's really nice if these could close completely flush. It's like my only critique of this figure. And then going down to the back of the frill, there's some nice paint job back there. You have a little bit of that olive green with these scales on the back of the frill. And then going down to the neck, you have some more of that dark rusty orange coloration. All nice beautiful scale details throughout the whole body. Some nice large scales right here. Follows the Lane Triceratops impressions with these larger scales mixed in. And then going down to the front feet, the correct number of toes. These 3 toes have claws on them. They're painted in nice glossy black paint. Same thing for the hind feet. You can see all that nice black on the toenails. And looking at the figure from the top, you get some more of that nice dark olive green with some little splotches mixed in along the back. And then going down to the high legs, you get more of that olive green. You can see more of those large scales on the thigh, and some nice muscle definition along the calf. Just love the texture of these figures. They're big, heavy figures. They are an absolute joy to handle. And going down to that very, very short tail, it's more of that olive green contrasting with that orange coloration. And for the underside, you have a nice, nice light cream coat for the underside of the figure. Even the bottom of the feet of these figures are very, very well detailed. So yeah, all in all, really, really happy how this Torosaurus came out. Love the homage to the Walking with Dinosaurs. It's not a perfect, representation. It's just meant to be a homage, and I do like this much brighter color scheme than how it appeared in the show. And now for articulation, we did the mouth earlier, but let's do it again. Can open up that wide, can close that much. You get some side to side movement on the front of that neck joint. You can get some up and down movement on that. This joint right here on my figure is incredibly tight. Actually, most of the joints on this one were really tight. One of the tightest figures I've ever gotten from Beast of the Mesozoic. I had to work some of these over and use a hair dryer to soften some of them up, but this one's just really, really stiff right here. Usually you can get a little bit of movement up. There it goes. Finally goes. Finally work that neck out. Going down to the front legs, they can move forwards and backwards. You do get a nice bend at the elbow. You get some rotation at the wrist and some up and down movement. You do have articulation at the midpoint of the body. You can go up and down, and you get a little bit of side to side movement. A lot of creaking going on with this figure. Hind legs can move backwards and forwards. The knee joints on both these hind legs are insanely tight. Like, I have to put a lot of force on them just to get them to move. You can hear it pop into place, and it can move about back that far. And put a lot of work to get that one going. For the legs, let's get the camera to focus in on that. I hope all that wasn't out of focus for everyone. Get some forwards and backwards movement, get some side to side on those hind feet and up and down movement. And for the tail, you do get some up, down, and side to side movement. So the articulation on these figures is always really good. You can get some nice poses on them if you use your imagination. Now moving on with comparisons, here it is with one of the Hammond Collection figures. Alan Grant, these 3 3/4 inch figures are around 1/18 scale, which is the same for the figures in this line. So it gives you a good idea of how big Torosaurus was in real life. And next up, here it is with Big Blue, the original Torosaurus in the line. Pretty night and day difference with the color schemes on here. They're both exactly the same scalp, but a fresh coat of paint really makes a world of difference with these figures. Now, having them side by side, I still like the blue one better. I'm always a sucker for, really vivid colorations on dinosaur figures, and blue is one of my favorite colors. So I'm naturally going to lean into this one right here. But both figures are excellent choices. Like I said earlier, some people just really weren't too keen on this really blue, vibrant color scheme, but now we have this nice, natural-looking color scheme on this Torosaurus. So I think a lot of those people are going to finally pick up this amazing figure. And next up here is another Torosaurus figures. This is Pianesso's take, which I was a big fan of. And here's the little baby that comes with that one. And I hope we do get those baby Torosaurus figures from Beasts of the Mesozoic. I love having baby dinosaurs figures and set up little family groups in my diorama display. So yeah, definitely love both these Torosaurus. I was a big fan of this one when it came out. But one thing, Pianesso does not do cheeks on their Ceratopsian. So you can see the difference between these two sculpts. Aesthetically, pleasing on the eye. I like my Ceratopsians with cheeks. Whatever it turns out to be, it is what it is. But for me personally, I do like cheeks on my Ceratopsians. I don't know. There's something kind of like unnerving about like those wide open scissor mouths without the cheeks on Ceratopsians. Just kind of creeps me out just a little bit. And next up, let's do some of these small 1/18 scale Ceratopsian figures. There's Protoceratops, Psittacosaurus, and let's do a raptor. Here it is with Dromaeosaurus. Let's do a couple more Ceratopsian figures. Here it is with Regaloceratops, and here it is with the Dino Riders Monoclonius. Like I said earlier, just like that dark coloration with the orange, just kind of reminds me of the Tycho Dino Riders toy. Like I said, it was probably unintentional, but for me, I'm gonna consider this a slight Dino Riders repaint also. And next up, let's do it with the adult Triceratops figure. You can see how those match up. They both share the same body. They just have different head sculpts. And before I forget, here is the other previously released fan choice Ceratopsian, the Medusa Ceratops. And next up, here it is with my still unfinished gray 1/18 scale T-Rex. One day I will finish this thing, I swear I will. But yeah, it scales really, really nicely with the Torosaurus. And lastly, here it is with the Hammond Collection T-Rex, which also scales really well with this Torosaurus. And why not? Let's bring out this very shameful Hammond Collection Triceratops. I just hate how small it is against this T-Rex figure. It's just pathetic. They gotta make a bigger Triceratops in the future. So final thoughts on this Fan's Choice Torosaurus. Absolutely loved it. I love the first one. This one's also fantastic. I'm really enjoying the much more natural color scheme on it. Plus, it's a homage to Walking with Dinosaurs. Still love the big blue one, but Torosaurus is my favorite Ceratopsian, so I don't mind having multiple versions of this figure. It's one of my favorite Ceratopsians in the entire series. It's an absolute blast to play around with. A big, heavy figure. The articulation works great on it, and I think this new paint job really does this figure some justice. So yeah, I'm really digging these Fan's Choice Ceratopsians. Can't wait for the old buck version. Actually, both of them, I'm a huge fan of Dead Sound's Dinosaurius series. Like I said earlier, go check it out. It is an absolute blast to watch. And like I said at the beginning of the review, this figure is still available for pre-order on Creative Beast site. Link is down below in the description. If you pre-order it now, you save a few bucks. Once these come into stock, the price will jump $5. So that will do it for the review. I should have one more early review from Beasts of the Mesozoic coming up in the near future. So stay tuned for that. I have some new Jurassic World stuff coming in from Amazon, so there should be new reviews coming out this week. And thanks for struggling with me through this review, because I know I sound like absolute dog crap. Hopefully I get better as the week goes on. So that would do it. As always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.